Hello, my name is Alejandro Ramirez Limas. I am the solutions architect for the solicitation management system sponsored by the Washington State Department of Commerce. In this video, we will present how to do the beginning steps to create a funding application. Once you have logged in, you will be presented with the home screen. From here, please go ahead and choose Agree and Enter. Once you press Agree and Enter, you will be taken to the coordinator's portal. From here, please press RFX Management. In the RFX management page, you will see any RFX that you are currently working on or any RFX that have been already completed but have not been deactivated. From here, please press Create New RFX. From the basic information page, you will see RFX basic details. From here, choose the type of RFX that you're trying to complete. All four choices that you see here will have the same steps. For the purpose of this presentation, we will be creating an RFP. After you choose the funding application type, go ahead and enter the funding application number and also enter the title. As far as the RFX coordinator, because you are logged in as a coordinator, the system automatically assumes that you will be the coordinator for this application. However, if you're writing this and you want someone else to be the coordinator, please press the magnifying glass and look for an existing coordinator that you may choose. If the coordinator that you're looking for is not on the list, please submit a support request so that we may create this coordinator for you. Showing how to create support requests will be presented on a separate video. Once you're done with step one, press next. Once the page loads, you will notice that it will say loading data. This process takes approximately 5 to 10 seconds, and it's because the funding application is now being generated for you. Please be patient and allow for this process to complete. Once finished, you will notice that the coordinator email, the coordinator information, and the type of funding application that you're creating will be shown at the top of the page. As far as the description, please choose something that you will be able to show later on for public disclosure. After you enter the description of the opportunity that will be shown for public disclosure, you need to show a few extra items on your funding application. This is the information that will be shown on the final PDF document that is generated. So the first item that you need to do is choose whether or not you will be accepting hard copies of the document. If you will be accepting hard copies, please go ahead and select this check mark and enter the address where you want the hard copies to be mailed to. If you do not want them, uncheck the box. Next, you should enter the budget that this funding application will be created for. In this case, the funding application is being made for $200,000. The next thing that you need to choose is the source. Your choices are state, federal, or state and federal. Please note that the choice that you make here will affect multiple items on the funding application. And so please ensure that you choose the correct choice. Next, choose whether this will be passed through funding or not. In this case, we're going to choose that it's not. After this, choose the number of contracts to be awarded. Choose the responsiveness, and this is basically when disqualified proposers will be notified. After this, choose whether you want virtual presentations or scores and written evaluations will determine the score. Next, choose the workers' compensation award. In this case, we're going to use the standard of 5%. And finally, the link to the contract. For the purpose of this presentation, we're going to say that the link to the contract is commerce.wa.gov. But please make sure that you use the actual link to the contract, as this will be listed on the funding application. As far as your scores, for the technical proposal score, we're going to say it's going to be 60. The management score will be 40, and the cost proposal will be the standard 1. This will give the total maximum points of 101 points, plus the 5 points for the workers' compensation. So the maximum points that this application can receive is 105, provided that the applicant receives max points for everything. Once this is complete, go ahead and push next. The next item you will see once you press next is going to be the schedule. Please be sure that your posting date is accurate. every date that you choose after the posting date will need to be listed on either the posting date or at a later time. For the purpose of this presentation, we're going to say that the posting date will be November, and we're going to avoid Veterans Day, and we're also not going to use anything related to Thanksgiving. As you see, these days have been grayed out. This is because the system recognizes that these are either holidays or, as you see, Saturday and Sunday is grayed out also because it's the weekend. So we're going to choose November 27. For the issue for the request for proposal, now we need to choose a date after November 27. This is true for every other date that follows. If you happen to choose a date that is prior to November 27, you will get an error on the system that tells you that dates cannot be prior to the posting date. So we're going to go ahead and choose December 10th for this. And every other date that we choose will be either on or after December 10th. Okay, once you have entered your dates for the top part of the schedule, then you need to start entering the dates that have periods on them. So for example, Q&A period, responsiveness check period, etc. You will notice as you enter these dates that they are also going to show you the total number of calendar days. So let's say that the Q&A period will start at the same day as the posting date. So we will put here November 27, and we're going to say that the Q&A period will last for approximately 1 week. So what we're going to do here is we're going to say that it will go from November 27th, and we want people to be able to answer, to bring in questions for approximately 1 week after Thanksgiving. So we're going to go ahead and say that this is going to be Friday the 6th. So now there's a total of 9 calendar days. Now, if you try to edit the calendar days by pressing here, you will get a message that tells you that the total calendar days are automatically calculated and that you need to change the start or the end date instead. Every other field that has a period on it and start and end date works exactly the same. So please enter the dates that are accurate for your funding application. Once you finish entering all the dates, you will notice that the total calendar dates will have been calculated for you. So for example, if we look at the estimated time period for the contract, we're saying that it will be from July 31st all the way till July 30th of 2027. So this is going to be approximately 729 days for this contract. The next item will be the date of the conferences. So these are pre-bid conferences. So we're going to say that the pre-bid conference date will happen after the posting date. And we were going to say that it's going to start on December 2nd at about 11 a.m. So let's go ahead and choose 11 a.m. here on this dropdown. And now we're going to say that the location for this will be online. Please note that you only need to fill in the first calendar day. After this, you may complete the rest at a later stage on the application, or you can choose to enter all 5 here. The choice is up to you. Once you complete this step, please press submit, and this will now begin the process of creating your funding application. What is happening now is the system is going through and is gathering all the information to create a draft RFP for you. So as you can see here, this says RFP final version preview. This is a preview of the final version, but you also have edit the draft in progress, commit to final version, and proceed to approval. Edit the draft in progress will open up a pop-up where you can edit the Word document and add all the information. There will be another video that explains how this process works. Once you finish editing the draft, you must press commit draft to final version, and that will update your final preview. This is something you need to do before you proceed to approval. Kindly note that this has been put in place in order for you to always have 2 working copies of the draft. This is so that you may make all the changes that you need on the draft before submitting it for a final version. And then once you submit for final version, you can proceed to the approval process. Thank you for watching.